Welcome in to Believe in Nebraska. I'm Kaleb Henry. Let's hop into Huskers today for Election Day, November 5th, 2024, powered by HuskerMax.
My job is always to consider everything. I think part of that is, what are the problems? What are the issues? It's looking at everything. So I think one of the first things I'm doing this week is, I have a lot of friends in the business, had some outside people kind of come in and look at, hey, tell me what you see. And I think that's probably, at least in my history, one of the best things you can do is just have a fresh set of eyes, look at it. And so I'm going to have some people that I trust look at both us on offense and on defense and kind of look at what we're doing and then go from there.
That was Nebraska football coach Matt Rhule on Monday. We now know who those fresh eyes belong to, as multiple reports indicate Dana Holgorsen has been added as an offensive consultant, Phil Snow, a defensive consultant. Holgorsen was previously the head coach at Houston and West Virginia and has worked with some high-powered offenses in the past. Snow was Rhule's defensive coordinator at Temple and Baylor, then followed him back to the NFL with the Carolina Panthers. USC Trojans will reportedly have a different starting quarterback when the Nebraska Cornhuskers visit Los Angeles next week. A report from 24/7 Sports says Miller Moss is being benched in favor of Jayden Maiava. The UNLV transfer took over the Rebels partway into last season, leading the team to the Mountain West Conference title game while earning Mountain West Freshman of the Year honors. Nebraska men's basketball opened the season with an 87-67 win over UT Rio Grande Valley Monday evening. Bryce Williams scored the first 8 points of the game, showing early that he's the guy for the Big Red this season. Williams finished with 27 points, while Raleigh Wooster poured in 18 to go with 9 rebounds. Nebraska coach Fred Hoiberg after his team closed the game on an 18-2 run.
Well, the difference in the second half, I thought, was the second chance points. They had 15 at halftime. They got 6 offensive rebounds, and they pretty much all led to threes. And that was the challenge at halftime, was to go out there and shut that off. And if we did, we'd have a chance to pull away, which we did, to get that thing up to 15 and then give them credit for continuing to fight, cutting it back to 4. And then Connor got hot at the right time, and I thought Raleigh did a really nice job finding him. I think he had 7 straight in that run to get it back to double digits. And, Raleigh, I thought, had complete control of the game out there. Bryce obviously got us off to a really nice start with putting the ball in the basket, getting to the free throw line. We knew they were going to be physical and try to get out and deny and hold and grab. And I thought we did a good job taking advantage of that. Getting to the line with 35 free throws would have been nice to knock a few more of them down. But you got to manufacture points and slow the game down. But I thought our closeouts were just a step slow in that first half. And second half, Davis got it going a little bit, but I thought we were better, and then the rebounding was the difference. I thought that's what allowed us to get out in transition. They crash 5. They do a really nice job of that. And I think you guys see why I had some anxiety with this game. That's a really good team, well coached. They shoot a lot of threes, and they've got 5 threats out there generally at all times.
The debut of the new post-game show from HuskerMax and the I-80 Club followed the Husker men's win. Jack Mitchell, Jacob Bigelow, and I gave our thoughts on the win to open the 2024-25 campaign.
Yeah, it looked kind of similar to the exhibition game for the first half. Just choppy, sloppy, slow. Then Bryce Williams kind of said as much, talking in the post game. He said, we're still a new group. We're still getting used to one another.
That's what they looked like. And they look like a team who hasn't played together before. That's what they looked like, right? Yep. Yes.
And it's as corny and cliche of coach speak as it can be. But when we officially crossed the bridge of Fred Hoiberg saying these guys are ready to play someone that isn't each other, that was when you knew that, they want to see what it looks like against a real opponent. And we got a closed door, not so secret scrimmage against Utah, and an exhibition game against the D2. But this was for real tonight. And there was a lot to like, a lot that, made me raise an eyebrow. All 3 of my biggest questions about this team definitely appeared to still be significant throughout the majority of the game. So, but it's game 1 for a reason. They're 1-0, and we will not hopefully be thinking about this game much longer down the line.
During the season opening win for Nebraska women's basketball, senior Alexis Markowski moved into sole possession of first place on the program's all-time double-double chart. Markowski moves past two Husker legends in Jordan Hooper and Kelsey Griffin. Markowski talked about the honor after the victory Monday.
I mean, it's really hard to put into words. I grew up watching the both of them, and they really inspired me to want to play here. And I try to not worry about my stats. I just want to win. And but being compared to those two ladies just doesn't feel real. And younger me wouldn't believe it. And I really am just so blessed and lucky to play for this program in this state.
Turning our attention now to some Husker headlines, TJ Burkle says Nebraska doesn't feel close to turning the corner after a third straight loss, adding that he's tired of the moral victories. Tanner Johnson gives Dylan Raiola a C+ for his quarterback efforts in the loss, even with an early exit. In other Husker headlines, Husker Dan wonders if Nebraska will get a win in November, comparing NU's situation to being down by one run in the bottom of the ninth inning and legendary Yankees closer Mariano Rivera on the bump. As for Nebraska's bowl projections, a pair of ESPN writers have the Huskers headed to the Rate Bowl in Phoenix, Arizona against either Baylor or TCU. That game is slated for December 26th. That'll do it for Huskers Today for November 5th, 2024. Don't forget to subscribe to Believe in Nebraska on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you listen to podcasts. And be sure to visit HuskerMax.com for all the latest in Huskers news and subscribe to the HuskerMax YouTube page. I'm Kaleb Henry saying GBR as always and believe in Nebraska.